What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zeke Pruitt in the building. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Doing a little quick podcast here, wrapping up College Series 6 the best way I figured we'd do it, and that's with the award ceremony show here. As we get into it, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button on the way in if you get a chance to. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all checking in, making sure things are good. Said there's an echo. Okay, let me try to clear that up. Let me see. Is this a little better? Let me know if this sounds a little better, Joe. Oh, it's on your end. Alright, I'm good though. Am I cool? I was like, dang. Oh yeah. I did the same thing, bro. I low-key thought it was an echo on my end, but I had my sound going for the YouTube on my PC, and I can hear the music in my OBS. So I was like, man, am I echoing? Like, what's going on? But nah, I appreciate y'all for popping out, man. But again, welcome guys to the CS6 College Series 6 Awards Ceremony Show. Nothing too crazy. I just felt like I wanted to go out with a bang, guys, with this awards show. We did not get a chance to give out the awards for the season, and I didn't officially get a chance to talk to you guys. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you, Zach Tank, Robin Banks, Joseph Torres, my boy Severio in the building, always showing love, man. Tio in the building, Brody in the building, Elijah, Chosen. It's all love going on right now, man. So I appreciate y'all. Samaje, my boy Dalen Mitchell, Dior Gore, Damari, man. What's going on with y'all? Rado, K5, and many more, man. KC, of course, as well. But I did just want to come in here, and I felt it was only right to bless you guys with the awards. I mean, we had a really nice year together. We had a fun time, man. I had a fun time putting together some of these stories here. Let me get this backdrop in there. You know, that good old RFL theme music, man, much needed. But I had a great year. Salute to Alvin Mack in the building too. So with that being said, guys, I don't want to hold you too long, but I do want to close this thing out with these awards. So I do want to get into the first award here. We got the best quarterback of the year award, the Dre Crowell quarterback of the award. And again, guys, these names are named after players that won the award for the first time in College Series 1, I believe. So that's dating back to then. So Dre Crowell award, the finalists are, and shout out to Rashad Mitchell for being in attendance. I appreciate you, brother, for stopping by. But the finalists for the Dre Crowell Best QB Award of the year is KJ Smith out of Michigan, CJ Johnson, Oregon State, Dylan Lewis from Ohio State, KC Robinson from Texas, and Cinco Cardenas from USC. Who do you guys have winning this award here? Again, KJ Smith, CJ Johnson, Dylan Lewis, KC Robinson, or Cinco Cardenas. Let me know in the chat who you guys feel like is going to walk away with the award here. We got KJ. I watched a little bit of Robinson. He's nice. Definitely no bias. Dylan, probably Lewis. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and drop right now. So the winner for CS6 Best Quarterback, Dre Crowell, is going to be Dylan Lewis out of Ohio State University. 102 QBR, 4,067 passing yards is just truly amazing, with 31 passing touchdowns. And as you can see, the finalists here: KJ Smith coming up there in second, CJ in third, KC in fourth, and Cinco finishing fifth here on the finals list for the best QB award. Dylan Lewis leading that team to essentially, remember, awards come out after conference week. So after conference championship week, so essentially he had this team undefeated at 13-0 going into the bowl game there before they took that defeat, that tough defeat to Utah, that quite frankly no one's seen coming there against a team like Ohio State. I mean, nobody, besides Utah, nobody really thought that was going to happen. So big ups to Dylan Lewis, really making it happen, and really throwing the football at a high rate and being able to score at a high rate. So shout out to you guys. Is the sound out? Somebody said the sound's out. Are we good? My bad. I'm just checking the comments for a second. You good, Alvin? Oh boy, Mac. Okay, cool. So they saying it's on Mac's end. So hopefully we good. Okay, sound is cool. My bad, y'all. I just want to make sure everybody's good. I don't want nobody to miss out. But yeah, so that's how the QB race ended out, guys. So shout out to all those wonderful QBs for this season. Appreciate you guys. It was a great year to watch you guys throw the pill, man. Really did y'all thing and got rid of it. But now let's move on to our best running back of the year award, Trey Worsley award, guys, for CS6, guys. The Trey Worsley award for CS6. Who do you guys think is going to get it here as I read off the candidates for you guys? And we have, let me bring this up right now. We have Apollo Stone from Ohio State, Zach Tank from Georgia, Matty King from Tennessee, Bo Sanders from Clemson, and John Smith from Utah. Man, let me tell you, you guys know I love me some running backs. And this has got to be one of my favorite group of running backs I've ever been, a commissioner of or a part of a league with. Like, this tier of running backs is absolutely insane. I mean, if you watch these guys run this year, Zach Tank, Apollo Stone, Matty King, John Smith, Bo Sanders, like, what a group of running backs, man. But at the end of the day, there could only be one winner for this award. Who do you guys have taking it? I mean, goodness, remember Zach almost passed the single game rushing yards over Perk that game? Those Georgia running backs, they're built different, man. They are built different. So big ups to Zach, and that was his freshman year. So this kid came in and really did damage and really made his name, and I can't wait to see what he does next season. As you guys all know, Zach Tank hitting that transfer portal and headed over to Florida is what I'm told here. So a lot of noise, but we are going to go ahead and give you guys the winner for the Trey Worsley award, known as the best running back of the year. CS6, guys. Bo Sanders, of course, you guys knew it, from Clemson. This kid is amazing. A guy that came from the PFL with high expectations, and it looks like he lived up to them. 383 rushes, 1,981 yards. Boy, I know he's sick coming up just that short of 2K, but I know he's hungry for it in his senior year next season at Clemson with 12 rushing touchdowns to, top things off here. So just an incredible season. I believe that's one for the books, especially when you look at the amount of yards he was able to rack up in the season. He also got quite a few yards receiving as well. So big ups to Bo Sanders on an amazing year. And again, Zach Tank, I mean, I gotta give you props. I gotta give you credit, man. I'm gonna actually read out some of these stats too, just so people can get the gist of things, the full spectrum, especially on some of these players. But Zach Tank, on his side of things, he finished with 402 rushes, 1,891 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So he was right behind Bo Sanders, but I gotta point out that Bo Sanders 731 yards after contact to Zach Tank's 195. That's a huge difference. And also Zach Tank had 2 fumbles. Bo Sanders had no fumbles. So that's another big thing there. And also, I know receiving is not rushing, but it's part of the game. It's part of what running backs do as well. And Bo Sanders, to top it off, 48 receptions to Zach's 38 and 409 receiving yards to Zach's 183. So just across the board, Bo Sanders was just the most elite running back that we've seen in CS6. And there's just no denying it. But great efforts from Zach Tank, great efforts from Apollo Stone, John Smith, and so on and so forth. Just a very competitive running back year for these guys here. So I do believe that Bo got it done and he deserved it. Shout out to my boy EA in the building as we move on to what's going to be called our Keith Guyton Wide Receiver of the Year award here, guys. Keith Guyton, Wide Receiver of the Year. And we're going to get our finalist here as you guys let me know in the chat who you feel is going to win this one. We got Trevon Simpson from Clemson, Tyree Rose-Pierre from Michigan, Peyton Van Vekeven from LSU, Dior Gore from Ohio State, and Jamie Tyler III from Texas. Again, Trevon Simpson from Clemson, Tyree Rose-Pierre from Michigan, Peyton Van Vekeven from LSU, Dior Gore from Ohio State, or Jamie Tyler III. Who do you guys have winning the Receiver of the Year award, known as the Keith Guyton Award here in the RFL College Series, guys? A lot of tons of talent there, guys. Tons of talent, but there can only be one winner. Yeah, they all said, they say that Samaje fall off has got to be studied. My boy came out like a madman in that first half of the season. Like, I'm here. I transferred. I'm ready to go to work. And he did. He did, but he fell off a little bit. And that definitely put a damper in his stock. And definitely in the race for the Receiver of the Year. But without further ado, the Guyton Best Receiver of the Year award goes to Peyton Van Vekeven, PVV. It's a pay-per-view setting. This kid was pretty spectacular. I mean, granted, his quarterback led the nation in yards and passing yards, so it's only right that they ran it up. He was the only receiver with a true 1,000 yards after the conference games. You gotta think this kid, he didn't play in any championship game, and right before the bowl week is when we had to tally things up. So he was the only true 1,000-yard receiver in the regular season in CS6. So big ups to Peyton Van Vekeven taking home the Keith Guyton Award for CS6. And a big year from Trevon Simpson, Tyree, Dior, and Jamie. When you take into account the full total stats after bowl week and after finals, and after the championship, then of course I definitely have to look at Trevon Simpson a little bit differently, and Jamie Tyler. When you look at the stat sheet after they finished everything, just those 2 games alone, the bowl game and the championship game, they were able to run their stats up tremendously. If you were tuned in to CS6 at the end there, you noticed how big Jamie Tyler was for that 10-win season for Texas and how big Simpson was in that championship run. I'll run you off the stats here. Simpson ended up tallying 80 catches for 1,188 yards, 10 touchdowns, 121 YACA. That right there, or YAC, that right there obviously is going to look better than what Peyton did in the bigger scheme of things. But at that point of where the awards were given, Peyton was the only guy that was sitting in that realm. And of course, and then he also tacked on 203 for YAC and just 3 drops compared to a Simpson's 9 drops, which is actually a nation's best. So give or take, so you just gotta, you take the good with the bad. But at the end of the day, it all panned out. PVV is taking home the Guyton Award of the Year for CS6. How you guys feeling in the comments about that one in the chat from my boy Peyton? Yeah, college. So Bishop, that's normally how college awards are based on. They base them after conference championships. So just before bowl week is normally. I could be wrong though. You guys correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I believe it's just after conference championship week, and just before the bowl week and all that good stuff. But as we move along here, let's get on over to the Sean McClure Tight End of the Year award for CS6, and we're gonna go ahead and get our candidates for you guys. Big on tight ends. Tight end, hashtag tight end alert in the chat. You guys know how I am about our tight ends. Dating way back to the PFL. We got Rayshawn Bishop from Florida, generic player. Arturo Flores from Ohio State. Enrique Rush from Penn State, another generic player. Michael McConaughey and Winbo Bands from Clemson. Again, Rayshawn Bishop from Florida, a generic. Enrique Rush, another generic from Penn State. And then our 3 user finalists, Arturo Flores, Winbo Bands, and Michael McConaughey. Which of those players do you have taken home the McClure Award of the Year? Best tight end in the nation. Appreciate y'all on the love. Hashtag tight end alert. Y'all know I love my running backs and my tight ends. I can't go nowhere without my running backs and my tight ends. You know, those are utility guys. You can go, they can go get yards, they can block, they can catch, they can run. You know, gotta love a running back and a tight end. But tonight, for this season, there can only be one winner, and that winner is going to be the guy with one of the coolest little names I done came across. Winbo Bands from Clemson. Just an undeniable season. The numbers tell it all. 101 receptions, 1,216 yards. I mean, was he a receiver or a tight end at this point? Like, I mean, this dude, young Pitts out there. And, I mean, just 3 receiving touchdowns, but you got to think he had a lot of targets out there, and Sean Henry was just feeding them all. You had Simpson with Mamadou and Sebastian Como, so it was a lot going on, but this kid really ran up the numbers. Over 1,200 receiving yards and over 100 receptions for this kid, Winbo Bands. Just an insane tight end year for this kid. I mean, that's one of the best tight end years. I mean, maybe a few more touchdowns would have did the trick as far as just being undeniably historic, but in my eyes it's still one of those special seasons. Just looking at those numbers for a tight end here, big year for Winbo Bands. Very excited to see. He hasn't reinstated his player yet, so I'm interested to see what Clemson does there at that position, if he is going to come back rocking that number 3 as he does so well with the dreads hanging out the back. This kid's special. You might want to tune in as we move on to the best O-lineman in the game. It's going to be the Nielsen Award here, guys. The Henry Nielsen Award. Big ups to all of our blockers out there, our guards, our tackles, making it happen. Let's get our finalists here for the Nielsen Award. Now, here's going to be a few. Actually, these are all generic players, guys. We didn't have the luxury of having multiple offensive guards or anything like that. We did have, shout out to my boy Brooks, my boy Quan, but he didn't do. He was on Florida. That Florida team struggled. He didn't do the job, so we did have to go with generic. So if you know and you were tapped in, you kind of know some of these names. But starting off is Raymond Brooks, I'm sorry, from Michigan State. Isaiah Gaffney from Ohio State, Levi Larson from Ohio State, Hunter Gregory from Georgia, and of course you guys remember this name, because who doesn't remember this name? Isaiah Thomas from LSU. I'm not sure how that name got in there, but the kid's name was literally Isaiah Thomas. So again, Raymond Brooks from MSU, Isaiah Thomas, LSU, Isaiah Gaffney, Ohio State, Hunter Gregory, Georgia, and Levi Larson, Ohio State. Who do you guys have taken this one? The hog of the year. The boy from Florida. Quan Jenkins is his name. That's the user O-lineman that we have. Rashad said is Isaiah Gaffney. Rashad knows a lot about these players too, because he covered. Shout out to Rashad, man, for covering the whole season, bro. I appreciate you, man. You know, despite anything, I don't care what nobody say, man. Just the work ethic alone is what I can appreciate and respect. And you definitely did your thing by keeping up with everything, just on time with everything. And just shout out to you, my boy. Shout out to you. But we're gonna get to the winner here for the best O lineman in the game. The Nielsen Award for CS6 goes to Levi Larson, just the most dominant man in the game. And he led this team to a 13-0 record with 114 pancakes, by far the most in the nation, and just 1 sack allowed. Just 1 sack allowed. So this kid was putting on a show, and he was one of the main reasons why the Buckeyes were able to have such a dominant 13-0 season, and really had one of the most efficient offenses in the nation, with those guys like Dior Gore, an award finalist, Dylan Lewis, an award finalist, Apollo Stone, running back, an award finalist. So big ups to Levi Larson and Isaiah Gaffney. They held that line down, held that line together, and this kid is just insane. 114 pancakes on 1 sack allowed, and this kid is going to be in the series moving forward. So you will see this kid in CS7. Shout out to you scouts, right? Pros are back, so scouts, get your paperwork out, get your notebooks out, notepads. These kids winning these awards, even these generics, some of these guys are on the roster. Again, check out that spreadsheet link I posted in the Discord. It has the official 16 generics that will be featured moving forward in you guys' careers in CS7 and on into the pros. So Levi Larson, if you need yourself an O lineman, you better come find Levi. 114 pancakes, 1 sack allowed, guys. So keep that in mind. Again, check that spreadsheet out. It's going to name every generic and every user currently on CS7 rosters for all you scouts out there trying to build your pro teams and getting ready for that pro season coming up soon by Smitty and the boys. Next up, we got the best D lineman in the game. We got the Griggs Award here, the Antonio Griggs Award. And let's check out the finalists here, as we're going to look at Ohio State's own. Let's just break it down like this, actually. Barry Mann from Mississippi State. And then after that, you got Jaden Domi from Utah. And then 3 Ohio State players, Wyatt Harris, Russell Shackelford, and Tyler Jones. So again, Wyatt Harris, Russell Shackelford, Tyler Jones, Barry Mann, and Jaden Domi from Utah. Which of these guys are going to take home that defensive lineman award here, known as the Antonio Griggs Award for CS6? I'm seeing some Wyatt. Colorado's going for his guy, Domi. Rashad's going to go with Domi as well. Wyatt or Shackelford. Wyatt Harris for real. Bison's need a defensive end. Yes, again, all these guys are available to be scouted and recruited. Again, I have also a player reinstatement list, guys, so check that out as well. Everybody that's reinstated is coming back. I'm sure more guys are going. The deadline was the 10th, but I'm not sure if that's going to change at all. But for right now, I do believe that's staying put from what I've been told. But it will probably change, of course, you know, as the game comes out, people, and we find out different things of that nature. But as of now, everybody you see up here, for the most part, these guys, all elite talent, will be available in the pool for you guys to take. But at the end of the day, we only have one winner to give you guys here, and that is going to be the kid from Utah, Jaden Domi. Just had a monstrous season, 20.5 sacks, coming in second in the entire nation to actual real life player Justin Jefferson from Bama, who had 23 sacks. So this kid finished with the most sacks in the nation and the most tackles for loss at 42 tackles for loss. This by far wiped out the nation here. I'm gonna check the stats, but the second most in linebackers after 42, or not linebackers, I'm sorry, defensive ends. He didn't have any defensive ends come, or no defensive tackles or linemen came anywhere close to his sacks. Shackelford and Wyatt had 16. Wyatt had 15.5. I'm sorry. Shackelford had 16. Tyler Jones had 15. This kid had 20.5. He had 42 TFLs. The next closest was Shackelford with 36. So this kid just kind of dominated. He had a forced fumble on his record too, and just an amazing year. 59 tackles total, 38 solos, 21 assisted. Jaden Domi is going to walk away with the Griggs Award. It's a dominant season. And like I said, he did get that forced fumble, so he was able to get one loose. But big ups. Look, Colorado's hype. Yeah, no, he's serious. He's real deal business. He was kind of slept on, but he shows you why they were able to go and take down that undefeated Ohio State team, and they beat them handily. I don't know if you guys remember that game. 32-7 was the final score in that game, and they just absolutely gave it to Ohio State in that ball game to go ahead and punch their ticket into the national championship game against Clemson. So you're seeing a lot of Clemson, Utah, Ohio State. These are the top of the top guys this season. As we move on to the Raymond Award, best linebacker in the nation, the Charles Raymond Award. Let's check out the nominees for the Raymond Award this season. Tremaine Langford from Florida, Dwayne Cooper, Chris Bruce, and Sheldon Tarpley. All generics, by the way, but all guys that stepped up. One of the names that step out, and of course Brian O'Connor, I'm sorry guys, from Ohio State. I thought I said him already, but Brian O'Connor from Ohio State, Dwayne Cooper, Tremaine Langford, Chris Bruce, and Sheldon Tarpley. Sheldon Tarpley is a name that stands out on this list for me. Oregon State, I think him and Jack Stewart, they went bananas in CS6. They were a tag team on that line getting to those quarterbacks. Shout out to Sheldon Tarpley for making it on this list. But none other than that, let's go ahead and get the winner on here up on the board, because I feel like we kind of know who might take this one, but I don't know. We're getting some mixed feelings in the chat there, so I'm gonna go ahead and reveal it, and it is indeed Brian O'Connor from Ohio State. Just had himself a stellar season. The freshman coming in strong, 128 total tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles on the season. And if you look at his total body of work on the season, as I pull up his stats here, he finished third in total tackles with linebackers, with Alden, a generic, finishing first with 138. Caden Ferragamo, shout out to Caden, with 132, and Brian O'Connor with 128. But he did finish with the most solos in the nation at 95. He had 13 TFLs, a sack, 3 forced fumbles, 2 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions. So 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 6 turnovers there, forced turnovers for this kid in total, to go along with a pretty amazing freshman season in the RFL College Series. Big ups to Brian O'Connor. Ohio State put together the pieces for sure this season, despite coming up short. As we head on over to our Hoover Award here, Matt Hoover, the best DB in the nation. Who was locking up corners, safeties, DBs? To the center, please, as we get our finalists here up on the board. Let me know in the chat who you guys feel like should win this one as we go. Xavier Savage from Miami, Diamond Armani from Clemson, CJ Duffy from Colorado, Princeton Butler from Clemson, and Elijah Carter Jr. from Georgia. Those are your finalists for the Hoover Award, the DB of the Year Award. Again, Elijah Carter Jr. from Georgia, Princeton Butler from Clemson, Diamond Armani from Clemson, CJ Duffy from Colorado, and Xavier Savage from Miami. Got a couple of mixed feelings here in the chat. No, Kenzo is crazy. No, Kenzo, I think Kenzo picked it up towards the end of the season for sure. I started yelling his name a lot of pass deflections that he was getting towards the end of the season, especially when Miami was making that deep run where they was on that little win streak. I do believe Kenzo was a big part of that. He was definitely, and he was a heavy hitter for sure. He was knocking heads loose. So big ups to Kenzo Udo. He almost got on this list. I think it was either he or Savage, and I believe Savage just kind of stood out a little bit more due to the fact that, you know, I think he had about 5 interceptions going for him. Let me check. Let me just double check. Yeah, the pass deflections. Yeah, the 11 pass deflections was pretty tough to overlook. That means he was just on point, locking up. Nothing really thrown his way. They were trying Udo a lot this season, but he definitely picked it up and showed that he was worth the matchup. As we get into this winner for our Hoover Award of the Year, shout out to Mix in the building. Big dog, what's going on? Let's get into this. And we got Princeton Butler. Man, this kid was dominant. I mean, what can I say? Just an amazing season. 9 interceptions, I'm told. And I did look up that I believe this is the record or tied for the most interceptions in one season. Please correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but this is a big moment for Princeton Butler coming in over here in the RFL College Series. 84 total tackles, 7 pass deflections, so he could have got a lot more pass deflections, but we do realize that the pass deflections were a little bit off this year in Madden. I'm not sure if it was due to the mod or whatever the case, but he did go ahead and record 7 pass deflections. But the number that doesn't lie here and the number that stands out are those 9 interceptions. And we remember those interceptions all season. He was going up high, snagging them. He was doing a lot of damage. He had some of the more fun interceptions, jumping up, snagging them with one hand, falling back. It was jumping over, diving on the floor. This kid, Princeton Butler, is the real deal. You know, I call him PB6. I call him the Prince of Picks because all he does is pick people off. So shout out to Princeton Butler, an amazing one. No worries at all. No worries at all, bro. You good with me? This is home. Come on through, have yourself a good time, talk to the people, chat it up. We are gonna head on over to our Florida Best Kicker of the Year award here. We got Mike Flota, one of the best guys to do it, with an award in his name. Remember, get your scout on, guys. Everybody in the pros, because these college players will be coming to you live. They will start off coming to you at CS7. Hopefully they are reinstated, and then they will go on to that pro season that is going to be epic. The build up for it was already big time before this, but now the build up for it is even more massive. So be ready to see a lot of these guys in CS7, and then turn around and you're going to see these guys coming in the following season. All right, the following season. So after our guys over in CS9 get their work in, after they waited, they got to get their due. It's time. It's game time for those guys. So let's get into the Floto Award here. And of course, with the kickers, things are a little bit interesting, but luckily enough for us, we had an interesting year with kickers, right? I mean, to say the least, it was all types of up and downs when it comes to kickers. We know one kicker that we always talked about. He was picked on at first early in the season, and he was the hero, the hero for Clemson at the end of the season. So good old Robert Gunn III, he did make this list. Barry Lowenstein and Jaden Fielding for Ohio State, along with Camden Lewis at Oregon. Those are going to be your finalists for Kicker of the Year. Let me know who you guys got in the chat, man. I gotta say, this was one of those years of all my sim career. I've never paid more attention to kickers in my sim career. I mean, this year they couldn't have been more important. I'm not sure what was going on out there, but the kickers were interesting. And look, they said no way should Robert Gunn win. Yo, if y'all could see, I wish I had my camera if y'all could see how much I'm laughing right now. I'm trying to keep it together. I'm so dead right now. Robert Gunn is hilarious, but he did make the list because you know what? He's a dog. He's a fighter. So again, one more time, Robert Gunn III from Clemson, Barry Lowenstein from Oklahoma, and Jaden Fielding from Ohio State to go along to round out Camden Lewis at Oregon. And here we go. Our winner here for the Flota Award, CS6 Best Kicker of the Year, goes to Oregon's very own Camden Lewis. A sneaker, a surprise, a shocker. I had to really go in and really dig into the stats in this one, and boy did he have a year. 43 for 49. 39 for extra points, didn't miss one. 11 for 16 on 50 plus yarders, and he hit 60 yards twice. He is your Flota Award winner for CS6. Camden Lewis, generic kicker for Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. And you know what's funny? They always used to say it too when they play. They say, yo, I think we got one of the best kickers. Like, our kicker is top notch. And I see why. He probably hit a couple of those 260 yarders and they just thought the world of him. And he's 11 for 16 on 50 plus. This kid's money. This kid's money. Look out for him. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys on the love, on the graphics. Shout out to Bees all the time. You know, they gave me the ability to go in and cook up from some of the older series just to bring it back more for a refreshing feel versus using some of the newer ones from more of the newer seasons. So I took it back a little bit old school. I'm sure some of you OGs in here kind of know and can appreciate this one. But yeah, got into our bag for this one, and Camden Lewis with a dominant season here and getting it done, taking one home. And now we are going to get into the 3 top awards here. Shout out to my boy Strouder in the building, my boy ESJ, one of the top dogs. But we got our 3 awards here. We got the Gitley Award, Joseph Gitley Award. That's going to be your, let me see, your Offensive Player of the Year. Then you have the Brennan Award for the Defensive Player of the Year, and of course your Hunter Mackey, aka Heisman, Best Player of the Year award. So let's go ahead and jump into the Gitley Award first, guys, the Offensive Player of the Year. And let's just go ahead and throw those candidates out there for you guys here so you guys know what's going on. First, we're going to kick it off with Bo Sanders, running back from Clemson, Dylan Lewis, quarterback from Ohio State, KJ Smith, quarterback from Michigan, Apollo Stone, running back from Ohio State, and CJ Johnson, quarterback from Oregon State. Shout out to CJ Johnson. He getting some love out here right now. Shout out to CJ Johnson, man. Really did his thing. And you know what it is? He had a great offensive year. He really was throwing the football at a high rate. They didn't finish off with a great record. They had a great defensive presence. A lot of users over there. Remember when they were signing up, everybody was like, where are all these Oregon State people coming from? Where are all these Oregon State people coming from? And I guess the cat's out the bag now. So shout out to Mitchie. That was a bit of a failed experiment, my boy, but it's all love, man. I was rocking with you the whole way, and I was trying to help you see it through, my boy, and didn't work out how you needed it to, but it was a great attempt. A lot of great players, a lot of great dudes came out of that over into the college series, and I think they're gonna be great pieces moving forward in the league, man, and on into the RFL. So again, guys, Bo Sanders, KJ Smith, Apollo Stone, Dylan Lewis, or CJ Johnson, who is going to be your Gitley Award winner here for CS6, the Offensive Player of the Year? All right. All right, they said KJ or Bo. And it is going to be... I love seeing the nominees. I hear you on that, brother. The nominees in their name, and I should win. All right, and without further ado, guys, here's the Gitley Award winner. Offensive Player of the Year goes to none other than Ohio State's Dylan Lewis. Dylan Lewis taking home his second award of the night. Remember, he did also take home the Crowell Best Quarterback Award of the Year earlier in the podcast. And again, coming over 4K passing yards, 102 QBR, 31 passing touchdowns here for Dylan Lewis. Again, led these guys to a 13-0 record, the best offense in the nation all season long, with weapons like Dior Gore, Kingston, Apollo Stone. All these guys logging multiple receiving yards every night for this team. These guys are putting up 30-plus points a night, and Dylan Lewis was at the head of things. Just 7 interceptions as well for Dylan Lewis. So this kid was locked in every week. It was tough to take down Ohio State. Utah was finally able to get it done, but in the end, Dylan Lewis taking home the Gitley Award. Shout out to everybody that was in it. Well deserved. As we move on to our final 2 awards of the night, guys, Defensive Player of the Year is coming up. We got our Tyrone Brennan Defensive Player of the Year award for CS6. Again, I appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you get a second there. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. This is College Series 6 award ceremony podcast show, guys, and we are closing out the College Series officially for this year as we gear up for CS7 and that amazing game coming out. I know you guys are stoked for. Make sure you guys get your sign-ups in. I know Smitty, I know I'm not sure if Mix or and then got the new sign-ups back open, but I know it should be coming up soon, so you guys stay tuned for that. Anybody new in here, stay tuned for that new sign-up link, because CS7 is going to be a movie box office, so be sure to be here as we jump into our candidates here for the Brennan Award, Defensive Player of the Year Award. Here are our nominees. Russell Shackelford, Ohio State. Princeton Butler from Clemson. Jaden Domi at Utah. Wyatt Harris for Ohio State, or Dwayne Cooper for Oklahoma. Again, Russell Shackelford, Princeton Butler, Wyatt Harris, Jaden Domi, Dwayne Cooper. Who is going to take home the Defensive Player of the Year award, aka Tyrone Brennan Award? Okay, cool. So for all of you watching out there, that's the word. Smitty will says by Monday he will have it all sorted out. But trust me, Monday will come pretty quickly, so you might want to get on your job and become alert. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and give you our Defensive Player of the Year. None other than, and a couple of you guys already guessed it, because this kid just had a tremendous year on the defensive end, and it was just no denying his dominance. Hence this team going to the championship game, but falling short to Clemson. None other than Jaden Domi, defensive end here, taking home his second award of the night. Remember, he took home the best D lineman of the year here a little earlier in the segment, and now he's going to be taking home the Defensive Player of the Year. So big ups to Jaden Domi, just an amazing player. Russell Shackelford, Princeton Butler, Wyatt Harris, Dwayne Cooper are amazing runner-ups as well, but at the end of the day, it can only be one winner, and this kid, he got it done. 20.5 sacks, 42 tackles for a loss. We talked about it a little bit earlier with some of his stats and accomplishments this season, as he helped lead that Utah team to the national championship to play against Clemson, and ultimately they came up short in that national championship game, but a lot of people didn't know they were going to make it there. 29-21 was that total score. It could have went either way. Utah were working their way back into that game due to that defense that Jaden Domi led all season long, that ultimately gave Utah one of their best seasons of all time in the RFL College Series, finishing off with an 11-3 record. Pretty impressive for these guys here. Now, moving on to the biggest award of the year, the Mackey Award, the best player, Heisman, however you want to call it. Here we call it the Hunter Mackey Award, CS6. Who is your winner? The finalists are Bo Sanders, running back from Clemson. Dylan Lewis, quarterback from Ohio State. KJ Smith, quarterback from Michigan. Apollo Stone, running back from Ohio State. And last but not least, Jaden Domi, defensive end from Utah. Again, KJ Smith, quarterback from Michigan. Dylan Lewis, quarterback from Ohio State. Bo Sanders, running back from Clemson. Apollo Stone, running back from Ohio State. Or Jaden Domi, defensive end from Utah. Who is taking home your Mackey Best Player of the Year award for College Series 6? Looking at the chat. I'm seeing Domi, I'm seeing Bo, I'm seeing Apollo. Oh man, okay, so Jaden Domi's getting some love in the chat. Oh boy, it's going down. This is it, guys. Who's taking home that Mackey Award? Hashtag block for Bo is KC. Without further ado, guys, we are going to get into this right about now. Congratulations to Dylan Lewis, quarterback of Ohio State, for taking home the Hunter Mackey Award for CS6 of the Ohio State Buckeyes. The 13-1 Buckeyes fell short to Utah in the Cotton Bowl game, but this kid was stellar all season, led this team to 24 straight victories. I mean, that right there is a stamp that can't be denied. I mean, dating back for a couple seasons now, they were just winning. They were just winning. They just couldn't even lose. They won 3 straight championships, and this kid was there at the head of the snake. And he had a stellar season last year, getting all his receivers involved, getting the running back going. Offense was off the charts all season long, leading the nation. You see the numbers on the board. They don't lie, and just 7 interceptions to go along with that as well. So Dylan Lewis, big time year for this kid. Led that Buckeyes team. Just 1 loss on the season, credited to Jaden Domi in that defense, right? 2 awards awarded to that kid, rightfully so. But Dylan Lewis with the hat trick, gonna take home his 3rd award of the night to wrap up the award ceremony. He is your Mackey Award winner. He's also your best QB of the year, your Crowell, and your offensive player of the year, your Gitley player of the year. Dylan Lewis, congratulations to the Ohio State quarterback for an amazing season. Fell short of a national championship, but he does have 3 to his name, so at the end of the day, he can count them up. Let me see if you guys, I'm checking these comments out right now. Yeah, wow. But other than that, guys, that's all I got, man. I just really wanted to do a quick pod just to do the final awards for you guys. I'm gonna get these up on the Instagram page just to document them and log them. I believe it's going to be an amazing season moving forward. I did want to just talk to you guys myself. I know a lot of things are going on in the community. I didn't want any guys moving funny or moving weird. I'm okay, guys. I'm fine. You know, there's no problems. Me, Smitty, Bill, Mix, you know, none of that. Like, everybody's good. It's all a good community. It's all family. The RFL is back in full force. I'm gonna be taking some time away to get some things in order. You guys will still see me around in the chat for sure. If you see me, of course, give me a holler. You know, talk to me. But I might end up making a player for this for college series and join you guys on the field soon. I also could be coming back to call a few games, just depending on what's going on. I'm always willing to help these guys here do anything. If anything comes up and they need somebody to call a game, or if they need a graphic done really quick, or you know, whatever the case. But I'm always on the team, and you guys will always see me you know, putting in work for the college series. This is one of the things I love to do. I'm just going to take a step back for a bit and let my guys come in and take over and really take it to the next level like they do so well. You know, it's only right. New energy, new era coming in. The mod is over, guys. The mod is over. It is now officially time for y'all to whip out those consoles again, dust those things off, and get that game and help out around the community. Be reliable, you know, be coachable, be helpful around the community. These guys are going to need help creating players, putting together rosters, and all sorts of things. It's going to get real crazy, but it's going to be good crazy. It's going to be good crazy. So, you know, just be on the lookout for what's next to come. I know there's a lot of news that's going to be breaking. There's a lot of things to be excited for, guys. I'm telling you, man, you know it just as well as I know. It's going to be amazing. But I am going to be looking for a school to go to out there, guys. So if you're looking for a running back, I think I'm going to make me a little running back. Let me know if you're looking for a guy to come to your program and turn it up a notch. But without further ado, man, I'm going to get on out of here, guys. Appreciate you, Mix. I see you in the comments. It's all love, brother. It's all love to everybody in here. You know, again, guys, it's no problems, guys. We are all good, bro. Y'all move right in the server. You guys act right, act accordingly, man, or get thrown out that thing, because Uncle Phil will get you up out of there and throw you out the door. You better ask somebody, because it's time to get real, guys. Seriously, because it needs to tighten up right now, because this game and this brand is about to go to a whole level. Like, I'm talking another level. This is, you know what I mean? So tighten up. Make sure you're on your game. Make sure you're on your A game, fellas, because it's going down. Again, it's your boy Zeke. I appreciate you guys for everything, man. It's been great calling these games. It's been great being a part of the community for real and taking on this role. And I'll be seeing you guys next, man. Seeing what's next for you guys, and I'll let you guys know soon what I got cooking up. But football, again, guys, football, it's out of the question for me. Like, that's all you guys. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna be a part of the community. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna share it. And I'm gonna rep it. And that's it. If you see me again, it'll be on a whole other side of the spectrum. But other than that, it's your boy Zeke, man. Much love to you guys. Peace.